Hey, welcome back to Fox Cards and Things. Today we're going to be going through a box here, 1987 Topps. Got a lot of packs here, so we're not going to waste much time. We're going to get started opening these packs. Did you ever rip any of these as a young kid? Or even if you've ripped them, anytime recently? We're going to try to get about 2 or 3 packs at a time, just to get through it in a little bit of quicker fashion here. Cards seem to be in pretty good shape. Now, the one thing to tell from this one is, obviously the packs are sealed, but this box was not. You always have to be a little wary. I got a good deal on it, so I was willing to take a chance, but let's see here. Not a good sign here. The Ruben Sierra, I don't know if you can see that, but the first card we've got here already has a flaw there on the left side. And a decent card, Mr. Ruben Sierra. So, got a flaw already. Got Sisk, O'Neill, Hager, Gooman, Leary, Diamond Don Mattingly, that's a good card. Cerrone, Al Davis, got a lot of misprints there on the front of his. Alvin Davis, Kevin Gross, Mitch Webster, Dick Hauser, manager for the Royals. Don't love manager cards, but I do save every Royal. Espinoza, oh, we've got the gum here. No transfer really. Tony Phillips, Winningham, Matt Young, Biff Roberts, Tim Burke, Herndon, Jerry Pendleton, Cowley, Bruce Benedict, Greg Harris, Russ Morman, Dave Righetti, Mel Hall, and Randy Myers. Tony Pena. George Brett already there on the 1987. Looks like some defects on the printing though. Rich Goose Gossage, that's a decent card. Doug Drabeck, Jose Uribe. Bob Shirley, Jim Rice, Earl Hershiser. It's a decent card. All oral there. Gene Nelson, another piece of gum. Just stuck there to the insert. Knight, Tolliver, Durham, Greg Brock, Jack Howell, Humpert, Sundberg, another print defect on that one. Roger Clemens, decent card there. He came out in '84, but still a decent card. Bill Swift, Errol Motley, Rob Murphy, Dave Smith, Tom Seaver, Gerald Perry, Sean Dunson. Last deck before we open up 3 new packs. Willard, Danny Gladden, Mike Boddicker, John Kruk, Bob Walk, Mickey Hatcher, Keith Hernandez, Bankhead for the Royals, Woodward, Gary Carter, catcher for the Mets, Waddle, Crawford, Vince Coleman, Oberkfell, Fitzgerald, Dan Plesac, Bob Carney, Bob James, Mariners leaders there, Chris Brown, Jim Morrison, not the Door Singer, Mookie Wilson, Jamie Quirk, Pat Clements, Greg Walker, Romanek, Wegman, and Mr. Kirby Puckett. Came out in '84. This is the '87. I like to see old Kirby there. Let's see. Kirby Oral Clements. Or Clemens. Those were probably our best rips out of those. There's 3 more packs here, open pretty quick. No big hits. The Brett looked like it had some printing errors on it, but we'll see what we keep getting here. Most of you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I just keep all the Royals. Doesn't really matter to me who they are. Alright. 3 new packs. Let's see what we can get here. Clements, Greg Walker, Vita Blue, Lee Lacy, Romanek, Wegman, another Kirby Puckett there. Carmen, Denny, Wallach, Sellers, Dennis Boyd, Darrell Evans, Tom O'Malley, Sid Fernandez there for the Mets. Hope we didn't. The gum on these inserts. Frank Viola for the Twins. Decent card. John Franco, Leary, Diamond Don Mattingly, Bo Diaz, Spear, Dave Anderson, Stubbs, Carey, Joel Davis, Hasselmacher, Juan Samuel, Castillo, Washington. Get these commons out of the way. Manager here. Let's focus in there. Alright, Lee Brandt, pitcher for the Royals. Steve, Pedro Guerrero, Estefano, Mark Clear, Burleson, Rupert Jones, Don Baylor, Salazar for the Royals, Bruce Bochy, Sullivan, Neil Allen. Get rid of that gum. Donnie Moore, Lawler, Wolford, Powell, Mercado, Brownen, Plunk, Sid Fernandez, Joe Price, Terry Harper, a Royal there, Billy Hatcher, Molnix. Alright, let's get some of this out of the way here. Fishland, St. Clair, Michael, Salvatera, Heap, Morty, Jacoby, Pete Rose with his manager card, Whitson, Wynn, Warner Lupinella, manager card, Randy Bush, Bob Welch, Thad Bosley, Tewksbury, John Shelby, Aguera, Duncan Felder, Jack Clark. You got Mets leaders there. Is that Darryl Strawberry? Ron Washington, Clint Hurdle, McCullers, Simmons, Moreno, Mark Davis, and Mike Smithson. Get 3 new packs here. If you ever opened up any 1987 Topps, what was your favorite card? Again, if there's something you're missing or something you just collect, shoot us a message. We'll do our best to work something out to get it to you. Haven't seen too many of the cards we're after. Seen a few good ones. We got one George Brett. So we'll just keep going. See what we can find here. Schofield, Cecil Fielder, there's another decent card. Eric King, Cecil or Cecil, you guys tell me. Matthews, and Joe Carter, Landrum, Wilson, Tom Hinkie there, pitcher for the Blue Jays, Schramm, Hudson, Reggie Jackson, started in 1967, Horton, Conroy, Insert with Gum, Wynn, Horner, Lou Piniella manager, Randy Bush, Welch, Bosley, Bo Diaz, Chris Spear, Dave Anderson, Franklin Stubbs, Joel Davis, Ossenmacher, Juan Samuel, Castillo, and Washington. Cecil was the only decent pull out of that pack. Joe Price, Harkster, Kingery, got two of him, Billy Hatcher, Molinix, Tony Phillips, Winningham, Matt Young, Bip Roberts, Chris Bochy, Tim Burke, Larry Herndon, Terry Pendleton, Joe Cowley, Donnie Moore, Lawler, Wolford, Dennis Powell, Mercado, Walt Terrell, Wade Rowden, Eric Plunk, Sid Fernandez, Joe Price, Harper, that's a third Kingery, Hatcher, Molinix, final pack before we open some more. Bruce Benedict, Harris, Mormon, Dave Rigetti, Myers, Junior Ortiz, Vita Blue, Lacey, Kurt Ford, Espino, Ron Darling, Brett Saberhagen, pitcher for the Royals. Hope that chrome doesn't leave any transfer there. Really liked old Brett Saberhagen. Winningham, Matt Young, Bip Roberts, Bruce Bochy, Burke, Herndon, Terry Pendleton, Joe Cowley, Bruce Benedict, Greg Harris, Zuella, Mormon, Dave Rigetti, Mel Hall, Randy Myers. After this one, we'll definitely be we'll be halfway after these three. Let's see if we get any better cards here. You can tell there's a lot more commons than any cards worth money, so this is not a set to buy, you know, if you're out to make money on anything. Hard to grade these out, as you can tell, some of the errors in the pictures. But if you're just after some nostalgia value, there's nothing better, I think, than the older cards. Mets leaders again. I think that's Darryl Strawberry, Milner, Kurt Young, and Hal McRae for the Royals. That's a new one. Astros leaders. I think that's Yogi Berra there in the center. Ed Hearn, Phil Bradley, Lynn Dykstra, Darryl Strawberry. Decent card, but it's off center pretty good. Jim Clancy, Don Slott, Beckney, Roman, Sanchez, Reggie Williams, Jay Tibbs, Milt Thompson, Jim Presley, Tony Fernandez, Jim Gardner, Slanton, Perry, Tim Hewlett, Ted Power, Wally Backman, and Candy Maldonado. Let's get some of these commons out of the way again. If you're ever curious, you know, we wear gloves when we break, just so you know, if you do get something from our eBay store or claim it through one of the streams or videos that We've never touched them. Any cards that you get will be sleeved, semi-rigided. Jim Morrison, not the singer again. Mookie Wilson, Jamie Quirk. Gonna move the royals up a little bit. We just have quite a few now. Conroy, Bruce Bochy, Mark Sullivan, Neil Allen, Ruben Sierra. That's the second Ruben Sierra we've got, and both of them have had errors. That corner there's dinged pretty good. Salazar for the Royals. Bruce Bochy, Mark Sullivan, Neil Allen, Ruben Sierra, Doug Sisk, Randy O'Neill, Steve Yeager, McDowell, Gooderman, and Leary. Some of these piles straightened up here a little bit. Other than some Royals, these packs have not been too fruitful. Either a reflection of how many cards they printed, or the fact that this box wasn't sealed, which could be why we got a good deal on it. We did get a George Brett, although it was not in perfect condition, and I probably already have an 87 Brett, but it's still fun to go through these cards, especially if you're after some nostalgia value. If you're out there to grade cards and make money, this is not the way to do it. Let us waste our money and then buy the cards from us for a lot cheaper than the box costs, especially if you're just after one or two cards. There's a Frank Viola, John Franco, Daly, Sheridan, Tony Gwynn, off-centered again, Bando, Mosby, Cal Daniels, Martinez, Snell, Willie McGee, Garber, Junior Ortiz, Vita Blue, Lacey, Kurt Ford, Espino, Ron Darling, Brett Saberhagen again, pitcher for the Royals, Mike Maddox, Peter Bryan, Brinley, Reds leaders with Rose there. Third variation with Pete Rose, manager player card, and also that Reds leaders. You think Pete Rose ever makes it in the Hall of Fame? I think they took him off the restricted list, so hopefully someday. Larry Parrish, Danny Cox, Dwight Lowry, Barrett, Alex Trevino, John Calderaro, Gullickson, Kipper, Sebra, Kevin Bass, Rafael Ramirez, Andre Dawson there for the Expos, Rick Dempsey, Bob Stanley, McCaskill, Barfield, Bobby Valentine, manager, and Tufel, Mahler, Ron Robinson, Bill Russell, Paul Molitor, that's a decent card. Mahler had a pretty good career. Dave Stapleton, Sid Bream, Lonnie Smith for the Royals. R.J. Reynolds, Jimmy Key, Chris Welsh, Reed Nichols, Bryn Smith, Edmund, Mike Davis, Ricky Wright, Jim Beatty, Oyster, Lacoste, Billy Sample, Hubie Brooks, Mike Schmidt. Decent cards there. Jeffrey Leonard, Jeff Reardon, Larry Sheets, Al Nipper, Zane Smith, Stan Javier, Dave Johnson, Whitey Herzog manager card, Bob Boone, Shepard, Diaz, Brown, Malboni, Carl Best, and Fletcher. We're going to be down to our last three packs. And there are several cards that we have not gotten. Again, that's either a reflection of how tough it was during these days to get a hit, or the fact that if you know the printing order and somebody has an open box and you pull it out of there, you should not trust that. But again, I don't know. I've ripped a lot of these, and sometimes they're hit or miss, and this one may just be a miss. take us to our final pack here to open. We'll go through these and see what we've got. Walt Terrell, Robin, Eric Plunk, Sid Fernandez, Joe Price, Terry Harpster, Royal Hatcher, Mullenix, Tony Phillips, Winningham, Matt Young, Jeff Roberts, Joe Carter, decent card, but off-centered a little bit, right to left. Ezra, Pedro Guerrero, Tom Hinkie, Ken Schramm, Hudson, Don Baylor, Boros, Charlie Lebrand again there, Dave Steve, DeStefano, Mark Clear, Burleson, Rupert Jones. 2 more packs. Let's see what we got. Mike Maddox, Pete O'Brien, Brindley, another Reds leaders there. Scott Terry, Jody Davis, Gruber, Bob Tewksbury, John Shelby, Mariano Duncan, Mike Felder, Jack Clark, Junior Ortiz, Vita Blue. Feel like we've seen this pack quite a few times. Ron Darling, Dave Palmer, Rio, Reynolds, Laudner, Davis, Mike Young, Rob Deere. Tim Laudner, Glenn Davis, Penkovitz, Mike Young, Rob Deere, Reggie Williams, Tibbs, Thompson, Ron Robinson, Bill Russell, Paul Molitor, Lance McCullers, Ted Simmons, Moreno, Garvey, Van Slyke, Smithson, Howell, Darrell Boston, Howard Johnson, Richette, Dick Schofield, Cecil Fielder again, Eric King, Greg Matthews, and Butch Winnegar. So that kind of ends our pulls here. You saw the George Brett earlier. That's really the only Royal most people would want to collect. Let's see if we can get to it here. It's a pretty early pull. So we got George Brett there. Decent card. We got the rest of the Royals. We got a couple Kirby Pucketts. Got the Rose manager talking at the mound. Actually has his glove on, so it might have been as a player. His player card here. Manager card, player card, manager card. Oral Hershiser, although you can see that one's terribly off-centered. Dwight Doc Gooden, Tony Gwynn, Diamond Don, Wade Boggs, Darryl Strawberry, Don Mattingly, Roger Clemens, another Mattingly. And we got a few Cecil Fielders, Julio Franco, a couple more. Cecil Fielder. Cecil or Cecil? You tell me. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for us. Again, if there's anything you saw in the pack that you think you need or can't live without, feel free. Drop us a message, drop a comment, and we'll do our best to work something out so that you can get that. Appreciate you coming by. Until next time, keep on ripping.